I was actually deployed to Afghanistan when I started first experiencing those stroke-like symptoms. So I had a compounding injury when I deployed. I had a torn left shoulder labrum, so I always had a little bit of numbness and tingling in my left arm, but I didn't really think anything of it. And since I was in a more austere environment, I didn't have the requisite medical technology to really tell me otherwise. So I kept experiencing numbness and tingling and eventually a floppy wrist feeling. The frequency started increasing a little bit, and then my deployment ended in the July of 2020. And I still kept experiencing all of those above listed symptoms until pretty much I was diagnosed with moyamoya disease in October.
I never experienced any symptoms, but in June of 2020, I was going in for a pre-op for an unrelated surgery, and I got an EKG done, and they said it was abnormal. So after that, I went and got it checked out and found out that I had heart condition, and it happened to be 2 weeks before I left for my freshman year of college. When they knew I had a heart condition, they didn't exactly know what was wrong. And 2 months before I got diagnosed, one of my childhood friends actually passed away from an undiagnosed heart condition.
No history of neurological diseases in my family. She told me that with moyamoya disease, I would likely need surgical intervention because there is no known cause for it or known cure for it either. So really the only thing that they can do is a cerebral bypass, which are brain surgeries, and that I may or may not be restricted to a hospital location for the remainder of my life.
First doctor I went to before they knew exactly what was going on, she told me that it was probably likely that I would have to get a heart transplant by the time I was 40, that I would never be able to have kids, and that I definitely wouldn't ever be able to play sports again. And I was diagnosed with LVNC, left ventricular non-compaction. I saw a bunch of other doctors after that, and they all told me that since I've had no symptoms and with all the testing that I had done over those 2 years, that they were confident that with monitoring and testing that I should be able to play sports again.
When I actually met with my neurosurgeon, he had calmed my nerves incredibly after what the neurology resident had initially given me, which was the textbook version of the diagnosis and the impacts. He had told me that, since I was getting intervention in a timely manner before I had a full-blown stroke, the prognosis of my disease was going to be very good, up to potentially a 90%. So I could return back to normal after recovery. I did have to undergo a medical evaluation board, and now I'm undergoing a medical separation from the military because I no longer qualify physically to continue service in the military. So it has obviously changed my career path. If there's anything that the military has taught me, it's always about adaptability and just flexibility when it comes to circumstances.
One of the biggest things is my little brother. He was born. And he's just changed my life in every way. He gave me a reason to want to try again, and now him being able to come to my basketball games, it's his favorite thing, and it's really the reason that I still keep trying and keep pushing and trying my hardest. Knowing my condition and be able to monitor it and watch it, it's honestly kind of become like a sense of comfort. I know I can see that I'm okay, and I know that I'm okay, and I'm constantly being monitored. I've had people come up to me after games or just randomly when they see me and tell me about their heart conditions and their stories and what they've gone through, and I just don't think I would have gotten that opportunity to have those connections with people like that without the AHA, and I really think that's something that is amazing and that I'm so blessed.
I truly believe in American Heart Association's mission to raise not only awareness about stroke and heart disease symptoms, but also in raising research funds that are absolutely crucial in making healthcare more accessible to people in the future.